Good morning, good morning, good morning. For you guys that don't know me, my name is Adrian Davis. I'm hailing from the great city of Nashville right now. Wonderful day. I am super excited today because I'm doing something that I don't do a lot of, but I'm going to do more of it, which is having a live video out there. And so I understand that this will be able to be seen beyond now, but I think it's good for me to be able to sit and chit chat and throw some things out and say what's going on. So today what I really want to do is talk about or talk to some of the individuals that are wanting to change an equation in their life. And the equation simply is, I work so much right now that I don't have enough time to be able to do some of the things that I really want to do. I give more energy out than I get to have back in my life, and I put a little bit more money out. Either I'm paying out or I'm just exchanging time for money and don't have enough of it. What's going on, Markeith? What's going on, Bill? Good to see you this morning. And then the last piece is, I don't have the ability to enjoy my family and my time. This is who I want to talk to today, because I want to talk about an equation that I've been working through that I think will be beneficial if we just flip it. Okay? And so the ideal piece of research or piece of the ideas that you would want to go through life is that you sit there and say, you know what if I could have more energy at the end of the day than I usually do? If I had more money where I am not paying out just my bills and then saying I gotta wait until I get some more. Or the second piece is, hey, what if I could, sit here and say, had more energy. Let's just say more energy. More things that are moving in my favor than me just being inside of a cycle all the time. If that's going to be something that you would really enjoy, then you want to spend a little time. So I'm going to follow a structure today simply because I want to make sure that I don't keep rambling. All right. So I'm going to speak a little bit about a model that may be helpful, but I also speak about a plan that you can start using totally for free. Now, we're talking about free stuff. I know this is Facebook Live and you say, oh, I can look. You have the ability to replay and play and replay videos back over and over and over again. And hopefully some of this information you'll find it will be really, really helpful to you. So here is an ideal situation. Someone gets to work from home or work from any location and get to spend time with the family, spend time with their kids, or go talk to mama or papa, whatever it is. You get to be able to do that because, you have built a structure and understand exactly where you want to go. The problem is most people's lives, they deal out of a different frame than what people who are doing this are dealing with. And we want to talk about those frames, right? We want to talk about, there's a business frame where people are saying, I have to get into this corporation and then I have to work these 40, 50 hours, whatever it is that I'm doing. I got to do it, right? But what if you were able to choose the organization versus you trying to hope that an organization reached out to you? Good morning, Renee. Good morning, Lucy. Good to see you. So we're going to talk through that, and I'm going to show you a proven model. This is a model right here. It's called a proven growth model or growth cycle that has 5 major pieces that's been proven over the past, 20 years. Been going through this, been studying this, and I realized it's broken down into 5 pieces. We're not going to talk about all 5 pieces because I'm not going to just rattle for hours upon hours. We're only going to be here for a few minutes, but capture the current is the first step, right? Second one is diagnose the snag. The third piece is prepare the team, show the growth, and then obtain the objective. In every company, there's 3 things that the execs, the CEOs, founders, whoever's in the executive suite really, really want to get. There's 3 things that they want to get. They want to have the best people on their team. That's what they want to do. That's the first thing, right? Because they want to win. It's a competitive market right out there. The next thing that they want to do is they want to make sure that they have bigger margins. The bigger the margins, more profit. Everybody's excited about this, right? The last piece, most people kind of have their thought process on it, but here is really what's happening. People don't understand a lot of time that the executives, the CEOs, the founders came up initially with this great idea to have some great values in their company. The problem is they don't always transcend down to the lower levels of the organization. And because of that, what happens is the people who are on the second and the third rung from the bottom, they get pressed down, they get bad management, they get frustration. And that's when a person sits there and says, oh my gosh, I got stress in my life. I'm not getting paid enough for this type of work. All these type of things, right? So what I'm doing here is really, really advocating that you be the person that is finding a way to do some things for yourself. Finding a way to say, okay, how do I make sure things are working out well for me? If that's the case, then here is what we really, really want to move forward with. We want to talk about, how do I increase my value? How do I make sure that I am not one of those people that are being suppressed by all of the bad management and supervisors that can care less about it? And one of the reasons that this happens is a lot of people are dealing with some different type of frames. So let's talk about employment being the actual piece of education. So think back to when you were in high school, right? You're thinking about the time you were in high school, and the next thing you know, you're like, okay, I'm going to go to a college, I'm going to go to university, I'm going to a trade school, do something, right? At that point, there was some money that had to actually exchange hands. Some type of money had to exchange hands when you said, I'm about to leave college and I'm going to go to the workforce. You were paying, your parents were paying, education, federal was paying, somebody was paying, and the idea is, I'm going to pay to get educated. What if you look at it like now as, I am being paid to be educated? What's going on, Fred? I am being paid to be educated. Most people don't look at life like that. They go to work and they say, it's work, right? So in school, you have a frame of, hey, in 2 or 3 years, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get out, or in 4 years, I'm going to get out. And some people, life is in 8 years, I'm going to get out. But in work, what happens is we work consistently, just moving forward, and don't necessarily all the time understand what is the graduation of this level to the next level. When is that going to happen? And that's what we want to provide and talk about today, is a plan to get you not only just more money, but a little bit more freedom, a little bit more time to sit there and say, oh my gosh, I can relax, I can do what I love. Because if you're not playing as much as you're working, that is off balance. If you're only making an amount of money just to take care of your bills, that's off kilter. You want to be able to say, oh my gosh, I make this amount of money, but I have to only pay this amount. So now I can be a little bit more active in the community. I can be a little bit more giving to either faith-based organization, your church, whatever it is. You can do that at that time because you're not so strapped with cash. The other piece is you can build better and more fruitful relationships by doing this. So here's the philosophy around work. My philosophy around work is somebody is doing a lot of the training with you, even if you don't know you're being trained. Think about that. Think about that if you're working in Bob's, lawn care company, right? And every Saturday you're out cutting grass, trimming, and you're like, man, this job is hard. I really wish I could have my own company, which people do and say this all the time. If that's the case, I would say don't just jump out and say, I'm going to leave Bob's company, I'm going to start my own. You say, what could I learn from this organization? Which, if you choose to do that, you have just now put yourself into someone's class, someone's school, right? Because now what you start doing is you build your own curriculum and say, okay, what do I need to learn from this organization? When you do that, then you now start to build a plan for yourself so you can become successful. Because now you learn things and you're more intentional on what I can do and what I will do. And when that happens, I'm telling you, the proven steps here is that you now start to look back at yourself. You start to say, what do I have that I can bring to an organization versus what do I need? And then you start to say, okay, I'm going to be actively working. I'm going to be actively moving, actively doing things so I can make sure I get myself together. Now, here's the other side of that. You could jump out and try to learn everything on your own dime. You can go to all the classes. You can pay for all of the things that you need. You can get all the certifications and all that. But you're going to have to do some of those anyway. Or you can learn it inside of someone else's organization because they want you to do that anyway. All right? So when you get to that point in life and you're like, okay, all right, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to learn this. Now you have to build a plan. And let's just talk about your plan to become what I call a rock star, right? You now are very intentional on saying, okay, I want to learn 1, 2, 3 topics or things from that so that I know that this will make me more valuable. Because here's one thought that I consistently deal with. If you become valuable in a company and the company doesn't see your value, but their competitor does, the competitor will steal you away. All right? If you're needing to say, you know what, I got to get this amount of hours or this amount of content learned and understanding so I can build this competency in my life, then what happens is you get the opportunity to develop, and then somebody will steal you away if the organization is not willing to either promote you, give you more responsibility, and pay for it. Now, you're like, okay, I get it, Adrian. You're talking about employment is the new job or is the real job or the real learning and all of that. Well, yes, it is. Because believe it or not, you're in school if you think you are or not. You are in school. And the thing is that the frame of life school is very different from the frame of your undergrad, your graduate, your the other type of learnings, because they give you a curriculum and say in 18 months you'll learn this and you'll learn that. It's very different. This type of philosophy says that you drive your learning, you drive the understanding of where you want to go, and then at that point in time, you get the opportunity to say, okay, you know what? I think things are at a point where I'm ready to go to the next position, or I'm ready to apply for another job. Or sometimes people just come into your life and say, you know, I've seen what you've done for this organization and I'm willing to give you an opportunity. Now, here's the plan. Before I get out of here today, here's your plan. Your plan should be, first of all, look at this video as many times as you can. I mean, it's free. All you got to do is go back and replay and then replay and then replay it again on what you need to do. And then start thinking about your personal goals, thinking about what you want to do in life, think about what do I want to accomplish, and if that means I'm going to eventually start my business, or if I want to move up in a company or organization, great, that's fine. That's perfect. That's what you should do. But you should have a plan, because if you don't do that, you don't know where you're going to be going. I mean, nobody says I'm going to take a road trip but don't have an end destination, so you have to know what that is. The second piece is, after you attach all of your goals or your aspirations to some of this information here, then what you want to do is you want to say, all right, how do I make sure that other individuals are able to help me along the way with that? Now, I'm going to be here. I'll be able to answer any questions. I'll be able to do as many things as you would like or allow me to do. That's what I'm here for. That's what I do in coaching. I do a lot of this internal to organizations, but we're making this open live for you, right? The last piece is, after you've reached out and you're like, I'm still having problems trying to understand my pathway or my plan, then, you know, here's one way you can do it. On September 15th. On September 15th, you can put on your calendars right now, September 15th, there will be a motivation session, right? It's going to be a motivation conference that has 3 CEOs that have been doing amazing things in their lives, but they're going to show how they came from where they started to where they are now. People see people when they are doing amazing things. Sometimes they don't see them in the place where they were really grinding and in the struggle, okay? So they're going to sit there and they're going to talk about how they've made millions of dollars, how they've helped thousands of people, how their product is consistently going over the whole country and sometimes internationally. They're going to speak to this. Also, what that does is that's going to put you in a place or in a room with individuals who are just like you, like-minded, trying to get better, trying to seek their next place, and trying to understand, how do I put this structure in my life for what I call the real school. Okay? Now, if for some reason you say, I can't wait till September, I want to talk now, just reach out to me. I'm going to give you my website, so you can get all my information off the website, which is www.crowndavismemberships.com. That's like the crown of the head, Davis like my last name, memberships with an S.com. That's one way. If you're on Facebook and you're not following me or connected with me right now, you just connect with me there. Or the business page is crowndavismemberships.com. The other way is to follow me on Twitter at Crown Davis. And then Instagram, it's under the productivity_coach. And then you can friend me on any other social media platforms that I am connected to. Like I said, you'll see a lot of that on the website. My job is to make sure that I help as many people as possible, because I consult all the time and work inside of businesses all the time, where I'm seeing people who are deflated because they're not getting to enjoy life as is intended to be, and because of that, it's a pain, it's a struggle, it's something that they're dealing with. And what if you had 5 steps, 5 things that you can do consistently that would move you further than you are now? Would you do it? That's the question. Would you do it? And if that is the case, yes, I would. Then I think that you're going to be very, very interested in looking at something like this, or being able to find your own pathway that it connects to that. All right. So I'm going to check in real quick to see if there's any type of questions or anything like that. I don't see any right now. But what I'll do is I will be able to respond to things accordingly. I want to keep this around about 15 minutes, and we're at that place right now. Reach out to me. Let me know what you want more information about. Let me know if you're saying, hey, I'm interested because I need to go on and be serious about this particular life or portion of my life and trying to get better, because, you know, everybody should be. Like I said, the great Bob Proctor says, you're either living or you're dying, you're either creating or you are disintegrating. So if you're not doing that, there is no middle ground. No one is just standing saying that, you know what, I'm just here. You're on the escalator of life, and if you're just standing, you're either moving back or you're moving forward, but it's not on your own volition. It's something that you have to actively do. All right, guys, that's my time for today. Like I said, you can reach out to me any of those ways earlier. I want to hear from you. Talk to you soon.